A lot of people want to pre-qualify for Chase credit cards, but they have no idea how to do it. I mean, Chase has one of the prestigious credit cards on the market, but the thing is, you don't want to apply just for a credit card, a Chase credit card right away. You want to pre-qualify because remember, you need to actually preserve your FICO score. So pre-qualification will really help you out. Okay. So here are the steps I want you to follow. So when we talk about the steps you need to follow, so first you can go to the Chase credit card pre-approval page. There is a credit card pre-approval page that Chase has, and the link to that credit card pre-approval page changes constantly. So we can't really give you the link in today's show, but if you need it, just let us know. We'll send you the most updated link. Okay. So when you go to that page, just provide your name, your address, and the last four digits of your social security number. So nothing complicated. And the thing is, they're not even asking you for things like your employment history, or no. They just want to have like a name, address, last four digits of your social, and you need to check the box at the bottom, and you just submit the form. So what I want to say here, this is the first step. Is the basic, is the initial steps. Okay, and the thing is that you can actually check your Chase credit card pre-approval afterwards, and you have a lot of ways to actually check that. You can check it online. Okay, and the thing is, if you go online, you can see any and all Chase cards you are pre-approved for in a matter of minutes. Okay, and you can actually check also this at a branch, or you can actually check it via mail. So Chase, like other major credit card issuers, they mail from time to time pre-approved offers to people who meet the general criteria they're looking for in a card holder. Okay, so if you receive one, you can still fill out the enclosed application and send it back to Chase, or you can apply online using the invitation number provided. But keep in mind that Chase, like if you actually if you really get a pre-approval offer from Chase, you're not guaranteed to qualify for this credit card. You're not guaranteed. So a pre-approval is just that. It's a pre-approval. It's not a guarantee for approval. Okay. You still need to go through the process. Chase will actually do a hard pull on your credit to make sure that you actually are whom they think you are from a monetary perspective, to make sure that you have the proper, I would say, financial profile that they're looking for. Okay. Let me give you the overview you really need to think about. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. So when we talk about a Chase pre-approval or pre-qualification credit card, will this affect your credit? Because a lot of people are asking these questions. And I'm here to tell you, no, it will not affect your credit. Once and for all, don't read what people are saying on YouTube, or people are saying on Reddit that sometimes it might affect your credit. Those are lies. Those are lies, okay? There is no effect on your credit during the Chase pre-approval or pre-qualification process. Let me repeat that. I want this to be sure, because we have received gazillions of letters asking us, gazillions of emails and letters. There is no effect on your credit during the Chase pre-approval or pre-qualification process. Okay. Now, Chase only performs a soft credit check when you use its pre-qualification tool. So soft credit checks do not impact your credit score. You're not going to lose 10 points. You're not going to lose 5 points. No. So if you apply for a Chase credit card, though, there will be a hard credit check when Chase will pull your credit report. Okay, so hard credit checks cause a small drop, 5 to 10 points in your credit score. Okay, so this is important. And the thing is, when we talk about pre-approval versus pre-qualifications, those terms are a little different, but for all intents and purposes in today's show, they are similar. So this is something you need to think about. Okay. Now, the only difference we have seen in our research for the last 30 years is that a Chase pre-approval for a credit card is the closest you can get to a guaranteed approval. Okay. But a Chase pre-qualification is not as firm. In other words, when you submit your information to Chase to check card offers, you will receive pre-qualification offers. A pre-qualification means that you have a good chance of getting the card, but it's not as strong as a pre-approval. Okay, so that the confusing part is that Chase's pre-qualification tool uses the term pre-approved, even though the offers you receive fit the definition of pre-qualification offers. Okay, so the key is whether Chase sends you the offer or you check for offers by filling out a form with Chase. This is really important. If Chase sends you the offer, then you have a pre-approval, which is really, really high. If you check for offers by filling out a form with Chase, then you might have a pre-qualification. Very important. Let me give you a few pro tips here, okay? How do you pre-qualify and apply in the first place? By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's conversation. What are we talking about? We are talking about how to pre-qualify for Chase credit cards, okay? And we're trying to do it like the easy way, nothing complicated. And so the thing is, you can get a pre-qualified offer or pre-approved offer for one or more Chase credit cards, okay? You can do it on Chase credit cards itself. You can do it online. You can also do it via mail, regular mail, or you can get it via snail mail, okay? So if you do it online, the process takes less than a minute and requires you to input your name, address, and last four digits of your social. I just said that before. And the thing is that you also need to check, this is really important, a lot of folks don't remember to do. You got to check the box acknowledging that you are attempting to pre-qualify for a card instead of submitting a full-fledged application. So this means that Chase will not do a hard credit inquiry on your credit report from a credit bureau. So your credit score will not suffer when you click the Find My Offers link, okay? So, and the good thing is that, so what happens here is that once you actually get the process started, almost immediately, Chase will display a list of pre-approved cards, if any, and you can then click on the card to submit a full application, okay? So here are some cards that you might actually see if you actually go through the process, okay? So for example, you have the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This is a card you can pre-qualify for. It's a card that allows you to actually earn an extra 1.5% cash back on everything you buy, on up to $20,000 spent in the first year, worth up to $300 cash back. You can enjoy 6.5% cash back on travel purchased through Chase Ultimate Rewards, okay, which is Chase's premier rewards program that lets you redeem rewards for cash back, travel, gift cards, and more. 4.5% cash back on drugstores purchases and dining at restaurants, including takeout and eligible delivery service, and 3% on all other purchases on up to 20 grand spent in the first year, okay? So you have another card that you might actually that you might love. I mean, the APR for this card though is 19.24% all the way to 27.99%. You also have a 0% intro APR on balance transfers for the first 15 months. The same apply also for purchases. You also have the Chase Sapphire Reserve that allows you to earn 60,000 bonus points after you spend 4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months from account opening. That's really $900 toward travel when you redeem through Chase Ultimate Rewards, okay? The APR here, 21.24% to 28.24%. So those are two cards that you can actually pre-qualify for, not a problem. Let me share with you two other cards that you might pre-qualify for. So you have the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, okay? It's a card that allows you to earn 60,000 bonus points after you spend 4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months from account opening. So that's really $750 when you redeem through Chase Ultimate Rewards, okay? And so the APR here is kind of decent too. You are looking at 20.24% to 27.24%, and you can enjoy benefits such as a $50 annual Ultimate Rewards hotel credits, 5x on travel purchase through Chase Ultimate Rewards, 3x on dining, and 2x on all other travel purchases, plus more. So this is really good. On top of that, you actually get 25% more value when you redeem for airfare, hotels, car rentals, and cruises through Chase Ultimate Rewards, okay? Fantastic. So another card that you might qualify for through the Chase pre-qualification process is the Chase Slate Edge. Okay, the APR for this credit card is kind of cool. Also, you are looking at 19.24% to 29.99%. Fantastic. And it's a card that allows you to start off strong with a 0% intro APR for 18 months from account opening on purchases and balance transfers. Okay, and what we love here is that there is a variable APR of 19.24 to 17.99% on balance transfers and purchases after the introductory period ends. So, but one thing we love about this card is that you are able to lower your interest rates by 2% each year. Okay, so you can automatically be considered for an APR reduction when you pay on time and spend at least $1,000 in your card by your next account anniversary. It's just fantastic. You're also able to raise your credit limits. You can get an automatic one-time review for higher credit limits when you pay on time and spend $500 in your first 6 months. Okay, so overall, what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, all the credit cards that, by the way, you can actually pre-qualify for more Chase credit cards. It's just that in the interest of time, we decided to show you here only four credit cards from Chase. They are representative of, they give you an idea of what you can expect if you were to pre-qualify or if you were to seek pre-qualification. Okay, and one thing I also want to say here is that when you have a Chase credit card, you also have access to their credit monitoring process, right? It's called the Chase Credit Journey, that helps you monitor your credit with free access to your latest score, real-time alerts, and more. Let me give you the best approach here. So what is the approach you should have if you are trying to take this game seriously? Now, what is the easiest Chase credit card to be approved for? By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to pre-qualify for Chase credit cards, okay? And it's really important to understand that, that the easiest Chase credit card to be approved for depends on your financial situation. It depends on your credit history, right? And so the thing is that when you think about Chase credit cards, there is none that is really, really, really easy to obtain. Okay. Now, if you we can talk about maybe Chase Freedom is a little easier. Chase Freedom Unlimited is a little easier, or Chase Freedom Flex. They occasionally have pre-approved credit card applicants with credit just short of good. But if you want to think about the easiest path to getting pre-approved and approved, for that matter, finally, for a Chase credit card, start by building a relationship with Chase. Start by opening many accounts with Chase. Start by actually having a checking account, by having a savings account, by having an investment account with Chase. The more accounts you have with Chase, the easier it will be for you later on to be approved for a Chase credit card. Okay, when we talk about having a relationship with Chase, we are talking about establishing something called an MPR, a multi-product relationship, making sure that you are in a good situation. You have a clean banking history with Chase, and you can actually parlay that history later on into a higher limit credit card. Okay, so this is really important. You need to have this sort of a multi-pronged approach, so you know that you are in the best situation when it comes to getting your business credit card or your personal credit card, for that matter. Okay, and it's really important to understand that, again, you're not losing anything, because when we talk about pre-qualification, you are not actually having a hard pull. So your credit score is safe. But if you are able to boost your relationship and you can parlay that little on that, it's always important to think about doing things at the branch. You can also walk into a branch and ask to pre-qualify there too. It is totally possible. One thing I want to say, we can't have a conversation about Chase credit card pre-qualification without touching a little bit on the 524 rule. Now, a lot of our viewers have asked this question in the past, so we kind of felt like we need to readdress, we need to sort of clarify what the requirements are, so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. You need to understand that Chase restricts you to have 5 new cars within a 24-month period. So this is, the infamous or the famous, it depends on you, Chase 524 rule, and it actually applies to all new credit and charge cards you obtain, not just Chase ones. So you may not see the rule explicitly expressed on the Chase websites, but it is real and strictly enforced. Okay, and so the rule exists to actually discourage churning, the practice of obtaining credit cards to earn introductory bonuses. So whether you are a fan or opponent of churning, knowing that the Chase 524 rules is on patrol, ready to actually deep six your credit card application if you run afoul of its provisions. Okay, so one thing I want to say here is that you need to understand that Chase is not the only credit card issuer that has this sort of restrictions. I mean, American Express has it, Citi has it, Wells Fargo has it, Bank of America has it. They don't have it expressly written on their website, but they do have it. Okay, Capital One has it, Discover has it, by the way. Okay, and so it's all about just like controlling the whole credit card churning thing. And so one thing I need to say is that if you're trying to get, let's say you don't have credit and you want to get a Chase credit card, you are out of luck. You are out of luck because Chase, unfortunately, does not offer a secure credit card. But you may be surprised to learn that some of the Chase Freedom Student credit card are kind of cool too. Some of the features because they actually sell them. That credit card rarely shows up in online articles and ads. So, in the absence of a Chase secured card, the student card is the only Chase card available with no credit requirement, as long as you are a student attending an eligible undergraduate school on at least a half-time basis. Okay, so those are really important to think about. Let me actually answer another question that people actually have asked. And so the whole thing is if you want to pre-qualify for Chase credit cards, is because you're hoping that you might actually qualify for a Chase credit card instantly. So the question is, does Chase approve instantly? Well, they might have, depending on your geography, depending on your credit score, depending on what you're bringing to the table in terms of your relationship with them, but they rarely do so. Okay, and so it's really important to understand that it's what I mean. And Chase has said this in the past. They said that listen, we usually send you a written response to your credit card application within 7 to 10 business days, but in some cases it may take us up to 30 days. Okay, so it's really important to understand that chances are you may not have an instant approval decision in your credit card, unless again you have stellar credit. If you have a stellar credit, you have been with the company for a while, yes, okay. But if you like, you can send a secure email about your application status via the customer service page. Okay, but again, we can't guarantee that you will get a personalized answer. So if all else fails, you can call 1-800-432-3117 to speak to a human. Okay, so remember, pre-qualifying does not guarantee approval. This is really something that I feel like I need to insist so that we are all on the same page when it comes to expectations. Okay, and it's always important to understand that if Chase is not replying to you right away, that means they're just checking stuff. That means that there might be some kind of gap between what you told them versus the one they were able to verify. Because nobody's trying to say that you have lied on your credit card application, but if there is if the truth doesn't jive on both forms, then yeah, you might have to actually wait a little more. So just give Chase the time to actually do their research and get back to you. One thing you need to do in the meantime is you just want to you want to just wait, but also if you want to actually accelerate things, it's just a lot better to apply at a branch. That's why, honestly, we are all fans of applying for credit cards, for loans, for lines of credit, for everything else. Everything that you have, it's just better to apply online, to apply at a branch. Okay, because when you apply at a branch, you are actually talking to a human, and they will actually process your application faster, and you may get an answer faster too. Okay, and but online, the data has to be sent to another team, and they have to be sent to the underwriting team before you actually get a decision. It might take a while, but if you apply online, you're talking to the right person right away. Things are a little faster. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to pre-qualify for Chase credit cards. So I gave you the steps. I spoke about the overview. I gave you some pro tips, okay, and I gave you the approach you need to follow if you want to pre-qualify and qualify ultimately for Chase credit cards. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.